I genuinely love it when they come out and say stuff like this. Why are foreign people allowed to vote in our elections? Because our government will let them. And then they'll post it on social media and say, "Dear UK citizens voting reform, you're all doomed. We immigrants are registering to vote, and on the day of election we will come out and mass vote against reform. God bless King Charles and UK PM Mr. Stammer." Well, I'm sure they will. Obviously, they're not going to do anything en masse. But the point is, he shouldn't be voting for anything, anywhere, ever. But that raises much bigger questions about just our general political system and our philosophy towards politics. So, for example, this is going to sound radical, but I don't think that people who are born overseas should even be eligible for elected office. I think that people born outside of our country should be automatically barred from being able to hold office in Britain and take part in British politics in the front line. I think that's perfectly reasonable. I've got loads of examples to show you why. But just to be clear, this is happening all the time. Right? Keir Starmer has made, in his recent reshuffle, a couple of appointments that really hammer the point home. This is Miatta Fahnbulleh. She was appointed Parliamentary Undersecretary of State in the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government in September, just the other day. Right? She's previously been the Undersecretary of State for the Department of Energy, Security and Net Zero. Oh, great. And she's an MP for Peckham. She was born in Liberia. Not even born to like British parents or something, or one British parent, no. To a Sierra Leonean mother and she has got a Liberian father. And so in 1986, they fled to England because of the Liberian Civil War. It's like, okay, I mean, I'm not saying that, she has to be sent back or something, but I think that should automatically bar her from standing in politics. Another one is Kanishka Nayaran, MP. He was appointed the Parliamentary Undersecretary of State for the Department of Science, Innovation and Technology by Keir Starmer. He's the MP for the Vale of Glamorgan, which, again, he's an Indian nationalist. He's a Welsh Indian nationalist. I don't think he should be able to stand for office in this country, because he was born overseas. What about Lord Alok Sharma? He was the full-time president for the COP26 at the 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference in 2021. He's had various other things, various other parliamentary career. Then he was made Lord. He was born in Uganda, if I correct. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. He was born in Uttar Pradesh and moved to Reading with his parents when he was a kid. It's like, okay, so you were born overseas. You shouldn't be able to hold any kind of office in this country. And it continues. There's Nadim Zahawi. Again, just don't think this is just the Labour Party, right? Nadim Zahawi. He was obviously born in Iraq, and you may remember him campaigning to become the leader of the Conservative Party, the absolute clown show that is. And he would go around giving talks about his British dream, as if this was some undiscovered and undeveloped country that has used the idea of the sort of American frontier to kind of bring people here. It's like, no, that's the opposite of what's happened. People don't want foreigners to come here and never have, and yet somehow they're consistently ruling over us. What about Shailesh Vara, who was the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland under the Conservatives and had various other positions? This was the one who was an Indian from Uganda. It's like, right, okay, why are we allowing people from foreign countries to have positions in our country? Like, it should just be ruled out, because obviously there are various questions around, I don't know, corruption. I mean, this is Rushanara Ali, who was forced to resign for hypocrisy just before the reshuffle happened, because she had a bunch of properties in London, because Indians own more properties in London than English people. She ended the tenant's fixed terms contract in order to sell up, but then relisted the house for rent at a higher price within 6 months, which is something she's currently trying to outlaw under the Renters' Rights Bill. And it's just like, okay, all right, maybe she's just a Labour politician through and through, right? But then you get, like, you've got loads of others. You've got this particular woman. She was German. She was 30 years old when she came to Britain, and then for some reason she decided, probably because of Brexit, she decided that she was going to become a politician. It's like, sorry, why should you be able to be a politician in my country? Obviously she's against Brexit. So completely against the democratic will of the British people, but what are you going to do? And then you've got some really... she's Lib Dem, obviously, so she's totally anti-Brexit. But then you've got some really hilarious ones, like the Labour Party's Tulip Siddiq. So her aunt is part of this Bangladeshi movement or political party or whatever it is that has been deeply involved in suspect acts, shall we say, right? So Keir Starmer has been criticised for failing to act against Tulip Siddiq, an MP in his neighbouring constituency of Hampstead and Kilburn, for the sustained support she received from Bangladesh's ruling Awami League in the 2019 election campaign, which this was from a couple of years ago, obviously. And they point out, well, look, Bangladesh isn't Russia, but it does raise questions about, foreign interference in British politics, which is precisely what this is. And it's not like Bangladesh is a particularly democratic country anyway, right? So Starmer, as they point out, has done nothing, but he's actually rewarded her by appointing her to his first shadow cabinet. So what was the rationale? She was born overseas, she comes over here, she's brown, therefore shadow cabinet? Like, what are we doing here? I mean, she's currently on trial in Bangladesh. Like, this happened just a couple of weeks ago. Former minister is not attending the hearing, but she's being tried in Bangladesh over corruption hearings, where investigators from the country's corruption watchdog set out the case against her and 20 other individuals, including her aunt, her mother, her brother, and her sister. So it's a corrupt political dynasty in Bangladesh, and somehow they can come to our fucking country, get elected, get put into the shadow cabinet of who is now the Prime Minister. And so it's just... why are the doors so wide open to corrupt dynasties, to foreigners who don't... just begin at the beginning. Why should... tell me the affirmative case for giving political power in Britain to people who are born overseas. What is the affirmative case? Why should we have foreign-born politicians? And the answer is, that's crazy. Why would you do that? Obviously, you shouldn't give political power to foreign-born politicians because they'll be deeply corrupt in many cases. But moreover, just like with the German Lib Dem, they'll go against the will of the people because they aren't of the people. They're not of this country. And so why would you expect them to properly serve this country? They are, at the very least, going to have a dual loyalty to their country of origin, to their ethnic homeland, the place that they feel actually represents the kind of lodestone of their own souls. So at the very best, you're taking on a big risk, and the sort of minimum level of malfeasance you can expect is just corruption, right? It's like, yeah, okay, they're probably going to be corrupt. And we've got lots of examples of this. But they're also probably going to act against British interests. And so why are we allowing this? Like, here's a good example about a British Chinese journalist who is complaining about, things aren't going great in China. But the thing is, we know that China has plenty of examples where they're just stealing things from the West. And I don't mean to sound mean or racist or anything, but this does cast a pall of doubt over the legitimacy of Chinese people in our institutions, right? If you know that the Chinese government, do you remember the Canadian, Chinese police departments that were policing the Chinese community in the diaspora? This is a real concern. And again, it's happening here. Chinese students at UK universities being pressured to spy on their classmates in an attempt to suppress discussion of issues that are sensitive to the Chinese government, apparently. It's like, why is this our problem? Why are we allowing this to happen? This is just a consistent problem. Be watchful on national security, says minister backing UK universities offering places to Chinese students. Then stop offering places to Chinese students. If you know this is a problem, stop doing it. If you know that foreign MPs are a problem, stop doing it. And again, just beginning at the beginning again, just go back. Tell me why they should be able to. I don't think I should be able to move to another country and just be like, hey guys, vote for me. And I'm going to do whatever I want as a representative of yours because you voted for me. That should be just off the table, should it not? This should be something that should just not ever be possible. Oh, born in another country? Well, no, obviously you can't get access to our benefits. Obviously you will never be able to vote here. Obviously you'll never have political power here because that would be mental. It would be mental to give up our country to foreigners, especially as we bring in millions and millions and millions of them. Why shouldn't we expect them to start accruing political power? And do we expect people born overseas to just behave politically in the way that native British people do? Do we think their first loyalty is going to be this country? And, I mean, you would have to be mental to think that that would be the case, right? And so we should just have it so that it is just not the case that people born overseas have access to our political power. I don't want them having political power over me. I didn't consent to it. I'd go further. I'd say that not even in the military or the police, frankly. Like, there was a thing the other day of some African guy could barely speak English trying to arrest some Englishman on the street, and he's just stuttering his words out. It's like, what? I don't want to be policed by people like this. I want to be policed by people I can understand and who I feel that I can relate to and I think can relate to me. And so there is a common understanding between us rather than the interchangeable globo homo, like anywhere police who don't know me, don't care about me, only want to follow the rules as much as they can get away with, following them, and just get paid. Like we are creating such a baffling and counterintuitive order, and it all begins with allowing foreigners to have power over the natives. We shouldn't be allowing this. They wouldn't allow it in their countries, and rightfully so, and so we shouldn't allow it in ours.